Holy cow, I cannot believe it's already here. It's already time for the Spring Authors Showcase. So buckle up for an informational episode because I'm your host, Garrett K. Jones, and it's time to see which authors will be featured for Author Awareness April 2024. Welcome back to The Right Way, where we offer top 10 book recommendations, conduct author interviews, and provide awesome creative writing tips for those of you out there trying to hone your craft as authors and poets. I cannot believe how quickly the year is going. We are 25% of the way through 2024, and it blows my mind just how fast the author interview marathon arrived. I'm really eager for you to get to know the writers that I got to interview for this year's marathon, but I'll get back to that in just a moment because I want to share one announcement with you first. With May coming up in just 1 month, I want to remind you that Free Comic Book Day 2024 lands on Saturday, May 4th, aka Star Wars Day. This is an opportunity to show your local comic shop some love by checking out the sample comics getting previewed before their full run starts its release. I'll be down at DJ's Collectible Shop in downtown Hanford, signing and selling copies of all 5 books in my fantasy series, The Archives of Kereah. Now, if you're new to my series, check out this trailer for the first book in the series, The Heirs of Menonias. A great enemy, the Archmagus Menonias, has been vanquished and his campaign of terror and death has been thwarted. From the ashes of his reign, Kereah, the 5 kingdoms, have enjoyed an unprecedented era of peace as a unified nation. But a shadow from the darkest recesses of Kereah's violent past threatens to destroy everything as Menonias' hidden heirs rise up to complete their father's work and rekindle his legacy. But Kereah is not without protectors. 3 individuals, a ranger with an ancient connection to the dragons, a priest in training, and a princess mage, rise up to meet their calling and face the heirs of Menonias. So getting back to it, let's take a look at this year's marathon. Now, I started this 5 years ago as a way to specifically focus on and showcase other writers beyond what I do on a monthly basis. The 2019 marathon featured science fiction, fantasy, dark romance, Christian romance, and a personal account from one of my friends from my college days. Now, despite the bleakness of 2020, that marathon featured more romance, more fantasy, with authors coming from across the pond in the UK and down under in Australia. 2021 saw more eclectic authors, from Stephanie Ben Simon's homage to Eminem to the incredibly insightful accounts of Jordan P. Barnes' personal struggle with sobriety and how he worked through that dark chapter in his life. 2022 provided me with more local fare with Trisha Stone Schumacher, Jason R. Koivu, and Lisa Autry, who all live within a stone's throw from me. Trish and Lisa especially use their writing as ways to help other people learn and grow. Last year took a bit of a turn by bumping up the marathon from August to April. With that marathon, we featured horror, fantasy, science fiction, and self-help from an expert in human resources. This year, we have 4 new authors. All are really wonderful ladies set in place for you to meet in this upcoming marathon. My first interview will be with Kereah Keller, who writes stories based on Japanese folklore, paranormal romance, and fantasy. I first had Kereah on for an interview at the start of Season 3, talking about her book Splitter, which brought readers into the world of a survival horror video game. This time around, she's got more of her Japanese folklore work for us to explore. and that interview will premiere on Saturday morning, April 6th. We'll follow up that interview 1 week later on April 13th with Kaitlyn King, a Christian fantasy writer from right here in my hometown of Hanford. My third interview will launch the following week on April 20th with another awesome Christian fiction writer, Tiffany Price. Her books involve levels of romance and suspense that would comfortably fit on the Up Network or PureFlix if they were adapted into a made-for-TV movie. Then, wrapping up the marathon, I will be interviewing East Coast native Torrie Q Jones, no relation, about her contemporary sci-fi fantasy series Reborn, which sets characters living in our reality thrown into an incredible encounter with the fantastic and possibly supernatural. I'm looking forward to sharing all of these interviews with you, but if you don't want to wait, then you can go and check out all 4 interviews available on my Patreon right now for as little as $1 per month. I have 3 patron levels of $1, $3, and $5 per month. All tiers get access to the interviews a week before they premiere, but since April won't have a Creator's Corner segment, you can access all 4 of these upcoming interviews uncut right now. Head on over to patreon.com/GKJ Publishing and become a channel supporter today. Hey, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to tune in next week for my first Author Awareness April interview featuring returning guest and sci-fi fantasy author, Kereah Keller. See you then.